Welcome back, guys. Congratulations and well done to those guys that managed to do the little stretching session yesterday. If you didn't, don't worry. You're not really supposed to work out or stretch on Christmas, so don't beat yourself up for it. You can always go back and do that one. But most importantly, I hope you had a great day. So I was just saying to the guys that are live, I did have a plan for today that keeps us going, but not really feeling it. Feeling a little bit lethargic because of all the excitement from yesterday. So I'm literally just going to wing it. So just follow along. I don't even know where I'm going to start. And we're going to have a little bit of fun. So let's go into a little pigeon to start with. So it doesn't have to be particularly deep. Just get into that position. We're just going to spend a wee bit of time playing around. So it's more likely to be lots of kind of gentle, static holds, not for real long periods of time, but just more medium to moderate kind of holds. I think lack of sleep, drinking some alcohol, having sugar for breakfast, eating loads of food, it just plays, and even the stress, the excitement, all plays a part. So just feeling a little bit tired, sometimes just that kind of emotional, all that preparation, it's all over. So we're just going to treat today like a bit of chill, recovery session, bit of fun, and we're going to play around. So you'll see here, like, I'm sitting off it and I'm sitting on it. It's just one of my favorite little ways to hit different areas of my hip. So you don't need to just be in this perfect pigeon position. You can just be messing around and see what works for you. Great, tuck your toe under, hands down, step back, little down dog for a split second. So you can see there, first thing in the morning, I'm struggling to get my heels down. Feel free to bend one leg, it helps you just drive all that weight through the one leg and helps get, most important thing is, if you straighten your leg entirely, okay, so squeeze the quads, muscles at the front of the thigh, you'll see and feel that you get a much better stretch through that calf, heel goes a bit closer to the ground. So squeeze the quad, straighten the leg, that'll help you drive the heel back. And then take that opposite leg through. Have a little play around with that. And as before, I'm just moving around a little bit. Sometimes it's nice to be really strict with your form and your technique and the position. And then sometimes it's really good to kind of break all those rules and just move around, be free. Move around where you feel as though you're getting something effective happening. Tuck the toes again, come back. Locking that leg out best you can.
don't need to worry too much about getting this down dog, traditional yoga posture on the go. We're just trying to free some stuff up. Now I'm just alternating here between left and right leg. Just helps me get that stretched out. One of the little things I do is that sometimes just do like a little push back, change, push back. Just a little bit more dynamic. Follow along if you like, or do your own thing. You might find this reach helpful as well. It's really good for pulling your hips back. So rather than just making all this shape come from the shoulders, if you want to start creating that reach with your toes. Great. Step one leg through, onto the knee. We're going to try and get our hands down. So your hands are just inside your feet here. Again, just rocking my hips. It's allowing me just to mobilise the joint a little bit. At the same time, it's getting a really nice stretch for all the muscles through the hip. Bring that back. If you can, hands either side. If not, just coming up and sort of taking your weight. Back through. And we're going to take the inside hand and we're going to rotate. And then this is a tough one. Same hand and foot. And then both hands down. And just playing around with that kind of half kneeling, rocking back and forward. So as I go back and keep my hands on the inside here, trying to get this leg straight. Brilliant. Tuck it back toe under, bring that leg back, other leg through, knee down, and just a little play of that first of all. If having your hands on the floor isn't achievable, just go put a couple of pillows down, put a couple of cushions, get into that position. And again, we've talked about this before, it's interesting when you start seeing if you can get your knee, your hip and your knee in line. It means you're actually capable of doing a front split. It's maybe just that you've not quite got the full flexibility in the hamstring yet, most likely, maybe even the hip flexor on the inside, but anatomically, the joint is capable of doing it. So I'm just coming to that kind of position here for a second. I'm going to take my inside hand and I'm going to lift it up and through and get a bit of rotation. You can do this one as reps as well if you want. So it's almost like a shoulder roll. It's not quite as effective as a shoulder roll. For spinal rotation, it's more a global one, but it's still quite nice. And the opposite side. Whoa, tight. Oh, struggling now. And playing around with that again. We've done a lot of work on our hamstrings the last week. My hamstrings are feeling really stiff and tight. tuck toes under, coming back, little down dog type thing. Mainly what we're worrying about is getting those heels back and down. Running that through. We're going to be more upright this time. Sorry guys, I'm going to tilt the camera up a wee shade. So we're more in our normal half kneeling. Toes tucked or toes flat, entirely up to you. We're just going to mobilise that hip and hamstring a little bit. So you can really see how hinging forward here is going to lengthen this. And as we're going to arch back, you're going to see how that's going to lengthen this. And just moving between the two positions. Change sides. Great, and then we're going to change to that same thing, but we're going to go side to side. So we're going to put that leg, so I'm trying to keep my hips and pelvis forwards, leg out to the side, and I'm just going to do the same thing. So primarily I feel it on this leg with the knee down, because it's opening that leg out into abduction. Some of you guys are going to get loads of room, some of you are going to hardly get any. If you feel as though you're starting to turn, which is really common because it's easier, pop your hand on the inside there and just do like a little gentle push back the whole time. It'll just stop you from feeling like you're turning into it. Other thing you can do is if you put your hands on your hips, you imagine you're just rocking it like this. As you go through, you're almost rocking into it. And then change those knees over. Try and keep your tailbone tucked under. If you start leaning forwards, it's going to change it a wee bit. So really feeling that into my adductors there. Not easing up, which isn't nice, but keep going. It's beautiful. I'm just starting to get the sun coming in through the window there. It's gorgeous. And we're back to the other side. And this time we're going to have my foot side on that way. Try and keep the hips and pelvis square still. Adds a wee bit of rotational component into this. See that the sun's blazing in now. And then change. As you sit into it, try not to sit back, try and stay totally upright. Don't worry about how far you go, just keep the movement quite strict. It's going to create a bit of abduction, hip flexion, and external rotation of the hip. Not a movement we do a lot of, so it's really nice. And put your hands on the floor, bring that other foot up, and then you're just going to move side to side. Trying to keep the body upright, stop the bum from sticking out. Don't have to be too deep, just wherever you feel comfortable. Sliding, so I'm just imagining I'm on a surface, and I'm just sliding side to side. And what I'm going to do is as I turn to one side, I'm just going to turn and go up on my toes for a second, and hold it, keeping my toes down here, and let my heel go away from me, keeping the legs straight, sinking into that, and then back to the middle, do a couple, turn the toes over, balance, get the legs straight, drive the heel back. And then back to the middle, maybe a little bit wider now. Popping your hands down, just bring your legs out a little bit. It's what I love about these little kind of winging it freestyle ones. I never know where I'm going to go. I always kind of start, I'm just sitting on the floor, just a gentle like kind of rock around, and then I always find that I end up with a lot more movement towards the end, and it feels great. And had I set off with a lot of expectations and challenge myself, it might not be as good a session. Bring it up and in a wee bit, try and turn it through. Sometimes if we set off with massive expectations, we can kind of get overwhelmed and we didn't even start. So sometimes just going, you know what, I'm a bit tired, a bit fatigued, not really feeling it. Outside, just do something. You often end up doing more than you expected. And if you do that regularly, you get to the point where like, I'll just go do something, doesn't matter what it is. Bring it back in, that little side to side action. Feet point wherever you're comfortable. If you want, you can be going up and down, more like a V shape, or you can just be going straight across, whatever your hips like to do, whatever you're comfortable with. Do something down as well if you like. If like a sumo, it's called a sumo squat. Should be feeling these adductors working very hard. Great. Oh, see that slipped. Brilliant. Going to finish up with just some hip circles. Change. And back and forward. And then side to side, try to keep the pelvis steady to begin with. And then lifting the toe, try and get some rotation through your body. And then from here, I'm going to kneel down, but you can do standings, entirely up to you. I'll do it side on actually, so I'll see a bit. So from here, all I'm going to do is reach my shoulder blades back. I'm going to imagine I'm trying to touch my heels. So if you're standing, you just reach back and down. Get a nice bit of stretch through the chest. So it's not back and up, It's back and then away. And then all I'm going to do is put my hands, fingertips, just sort of lightly beside my ears. And I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm just stretching that back and down, not backing up, back and down. Don't have to be like this, just here or here. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'll bring my arms up above my head. Thumbs are facing back like I'm hitchhiking. And I'm just going to reach back behind me. Again, don't let the shoulders come up. Just relax the shoulders and just reach back. Great. Taking your arms and just take them across your body. Left on top, right on top. Chest up, head up. Not this. This. Open the chest. If you can, get your hands to clap, touch behind. If you can't, don't force that. And then just a little bit of rotation. There we go. That was me completely winging it. We just threw in a little bit of work, some really simple stretches that I recommend quite regularly for the shoulders. For you desk-based workers, that's a really good one for opening this chest back up. So just reach, reach, and reach. Lift-offs, prisoners and Ys, they're called. They're brilliant. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let's have a quick chat before we log off. There we go, you're all unmuted.
Yeah, that was good.
That nice?
Yeah, that certainly was.
Nice. Not very difficult. I'm gonna put my socks on while we're chatting because it's freezing in here. Yeah, I think sometimes it's nice. It's like if I'm stretching personally in my own time, that's what I do. I just completely wing it. I maybe go, I need to work on something that helps with my front split or my side split or my stances or a kick or my squat in the gym or I've been feeling really tight in my such and such. So I'll make sure that at some point I work in and around that, but I just set off. You know, things like doing the knee rolls and shoulder rolls are a great place to start because it just gets you on the floor, it gets you started, and then you can sort of start threading and putting little bits and pieces together. And I think one of the things that puts people off from pursuing their own stretching and flexibility, certainly in the beginning, is this overwhelm of like, so many stretches to do, so many muscles, so many different techniques that often people don't get started because they're like, well, I don't know what I'm doing. Whereas you guys are now placed that it doesn't matter whether you think or feel confident, just get on the floor and go, right, what did I do with Graham? Right, what do we do often? Knee rolls, shoulder rolls, seated hamstring, butterfly, one leg in, one leg out, half kneel in, you know, the whole, just go through it. Doesn't have to be done in the order that I do it in. Hamstring extenders, there you go, Dan, good stuff. Leg raises, you guys have got a huge vocabulary, just wing it, you know, and just play and experiment, and you'll soon find what you like doing and what you need to work on. All good, guys?
No.
Great. Well, I hope you have a great Boxing Day. It's going to be a bit of a weird one, I guess, because we're on lockdown. So
I know. We can still eat leftovers though.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking, well, that's what Boxing Day is anyway. You get
I've got a big trifle waiting for me.
Yeah, you eat trifle for breakfast.
No, I haven't had my breakfast yet. I had melon. I was actually quite healthy. Healthy start.
Oh, good. Good stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of resume normal service in terms of the progress. We've got just under a week left. We've got a bonus this month as well. So we've got 31 days. So we'll stretch that day too. And I'll regroup and we will be doing some P&F tomorrow. So be ready.
Lovely.
Lovely guy. Right. Thanks very much for that.
Tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.